A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back. No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me. Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Hey, Andron, how you doing?
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
I'm doing alright. Took a little bit longer to get on tonight than I intended. Thought I'd be able to stream this game while streaming live. Turns out that is not a possibility. So I had to download it. But what are you up to?
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Middle of the night. Where are you from? It's only about 8:30 p.m. my neck of the woods.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Okay, yeah, that's a good distance away from me. How are things on that side of the world?
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait. As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Yeah, things seem to be a mess pretty much everywhere right now,
I spent a
unfortunately.
lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back. I kept eating and eating. ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy sweets. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Belly with a rusty razor, his belly with a rusty razor, his belly with a rusty razor, what shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor?
Passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
This is a really weird game. Well, there's a snake out of the toilet fear that I have.
I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here. This will be obvious later, but My mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune. And misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Oh, I did not want to do that. Let's finish that off.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard.
Hey, Jessica. As well it should.
In this book.
Is this the Jessica that I know from, like, real life? I guess that's the easiest way to say it. Are you telling me you don't like pink?
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Fair enough. Okay. Come on, that could be the new hair color. I mean, it's just like a lighter shade of red. But how is life in your neck of the woods? Okay. Yeah, I saw a recent image of you. I wasn't sure if that was if that was natural, if that was you had let it grown out. It seemed like I didn't know which way it went. Like maybe you're going for an anime look.
And that he never talked about him.
So how are things in your world? I saw that, what, you got an empty nest thing going now? That's some shade of dull grouse. Dull mouse gray. Yeah, it looks good. I'm not gonna lie, it looks good. Not sure if I'm supposed to go in there or not. I guess I'm not. Oh, wait, no, I do have a choice. Okay. Just as a heads up,
any more than my mom did.
Just as a heads up, I do like to, like, you know, I don't like to put a lot of my personal information on these, like, onto the interwebs here. So if you don't mind, let's,
How I want to remember my brother.
if we can keep it to like...
The thing I remember is that when
not
he made
public
up his
information?
mind, that was it.
Or public information? Whichever way it's supposed to be said. Oh jeez, I think I almost missed this one.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom.
The vaguest, yes.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again.
Oh, each
And he
stick is a
wasn't.
different leg here.
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
I thought everybody knew I was Batman.
I told him going around was impossible.
Well, now I'm gonna have to, like, I don't
Maybe
know,
if I hadn't said that.
go out without the mask. Ooh, I'll just go out with, like, the bat ears.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Jessica, did you ever do this kind of thing on a swing? Like, just try and get as high as you possibly could, even higher than the branch or whatever that you were on. Oh, there we go. Round and round we go.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Well, I figured some people
Calvin's
knew,
story
but
felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
yeah, when I was a kid, we had a swing set that
After
like
the
wasn't
funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
attached to the ground at all. It was literally just freestanding. So if we swung too hard, the swing would actually, like, the legs of the swing set would actually start coming up.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
I kind of want to go down to the pumpkin, but I don't think it'll allow me in this area. Oh, no, I guess maybe it will. Yeah.
Growing
I don't
up,
know. They got
I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
they got all the fancy swing sets and stuff now. Kids these days will never know the joy of trying to slide down a hot metal slide in shorts, screaming the entire way, not because we were
Never
scared,
thought about how hard it must have been for her
but because
afterwards.
our legs were frying.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
There we go. Pumpkinhead.
Oh, Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise
So what are you up to
Ending
these days?
of Barbara Finch. As a child,
If you want to share.
Barbara was famous for her scream.
So you probably lose a finger. Yeah, because the sides were also like
She was all
sliced up rusty metal.
a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately,
Okay.
her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan,
Yeah, see,
boyfriend, Rick, was
I don't know how to put this with it being
demonstrate
vague enough.
Now
Like,
that was a
I've
great
actually been having to do like
Barbara's
a
father
decent amount of traveling with the job I currently have now.
And had to be rushed to the emergency room.
It's not like every week or even every month, but I've now been to both coasts of the country because of it, which was interesting.
Was canceled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
No, well
My
traveled.
dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box.
Yeah, but I don't get to really see anything. I just go out there, work, and then come back.
Until finally, the key pops out.
So,
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
okay.
20 minutes later.
The music box that I saw earlier, I gotta pop out the key.
So Barbara went to look for him. Right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Actually, can I can't take the key.
She found the key. She listened for Rick, but the
There we
house
go.
was silent.
Sounds like work travel. I mean, yeah. But on the bright side,
She found
You-
Rick's crutch and
I
imagined
get to...
the worst.
Is that the theme song to Halloween I can hear? Yes. You know, I get, I'm accumulating airline miles so I can use it for a personal trip. And, you know, while I'm out there, all my meals are paid for, so that's nice. Get to try different places. I finally tried an In-N-Out. The fries sucked. I don't know why people love that place so much. The burger was decent. I'm just completely, like, destroying the laundry room here.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
What is the best place that you've, like, gone out to eat that, like, might be a franchise or a chain or something that's not, like, around my neck of the woods? And I have another question for you after that one. Just popped into my head.
The old Finch rattled and grew still.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Oh dear!
Yes.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your screen.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is that, like, the guy that, whatever, Rick, he actually has a cast on his leg, just like the kid in the last scene.
And she was still whole feet, and she fell asleep watching the late picture show.
But yeah,
Barbara!
hit him again with the
What's
crutch.
going on up there? Ah!
He deserves it.
Okay, I'm coming up. But if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
So what made you decide to stop dyeing the hair? Out of curiosity. Break the TV. I swear my mom had one just like that. It's one of those Austin Power chairs. Wait. Oh, okay. I was like, why is it just floating there? Yeah. Was the TV at least color, or was it still black and white? Man, this game is only supposed to take like 2 hours, but I'm not sure I'll be able to stay awake that long. It's been a week. A floating wig. You know what? You should dye it one more time and then let it grow out, just so I can see the floating wig effect.
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And his worry was he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara. There's gotta be another way out of here.
Floating hair syndrome? Okay. I've never actually heard of that before. I take it a lot of people did that then, or I mean, if it had its own nickname, gotta be a lot of people.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
This is such a weird game. I mean, it's less of a game than it is just like a interactive movie.
Thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
So where's Walter? How do we get to Walter? I thought that the term was blue hair. Yeah, like a playable visual novel. Okay, there we go. I was like, how the hell do I get around him? That's probably Walter again.
But she sensed the story might not be over yet.
So yeah, I thought the term for women that should have stopped dying. Okay. Purple shampoo?
Hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Like it was a shampoo that dyed your hair, or like counteracted the yellowing of the hair, or...
Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara.
I wish I could check out some of these other rooms. In the main game, it's like they're all like locked up. Okay, fine.
She heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared.
Okay, so this little bit is like
And little Walter
Tales from the Crypt.
hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Yeah, especially with that ending. Yeah, I mean the game hasn't been. It seems like for every person that like I'm discovering in this game, it's the art style is completely different for how they tell the story.
Edie saw was a happy ending.
Yeah, it was definitely an homage. Do you play video games at all now? Actually, now that I think of it, did you ever play video games? Oh yeah. Oh, of course you did. Like the Diablo and World of Warcraft. Had to stop and think there for a minute.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Yeah. It took me a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah, so now I gotta find that music box and get the key. Okay, so what games do you play now then?
All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
I know, but still. All things considered, that is something I should have remembered. There we go, let's get that key. Well, how can I get the key out? There we go. See, first you forgive me, and then you're like, yeah, you should have remembered. Yeah, I really should have, though. But what games do you play now, then? Like, honestly, most of my game playing has just been in, like, creating characters for this channel. But that's why I'm doing something like this right now, because I want to knock out some of these games. Why'd you give up on WoW? You just got, like, no time for it, or it got too complicated? Because I know they kept,
Mom
like...
said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Yeah. I know they kept, like, changing things and adding things, and at some point, like, even a game that you might have loved in the past, it just becomes too convoluted.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Okay, wait. Am I able to see over here at all? No. Alright. Secret vault in the fridge it is.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Okay, fair enough. One second, let me check something here. There's a group I'm in. I don't actually play the game that they usually play. But let me see. Sorry, it's just gonna be a minute. Do you play Elder Scrolls Online or Elden Ring? Oh, you wrote something while I was looking away here. Okay. Yeah, carpal tunnel isn't worth it if for Borderlands. Psh, Borderlands. First game was good. I didn't care for the other two. Well, 3, I guess.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
30 years?
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped.
Okay, so the calendar did just say 1976, and now it says 2005. He's had 30 years of Peaches. Okay.
Whatever that
no,
thing was,
if you don't like
it
those
was
games,
gone.
or if you never got into them, then
maybe you got tired.
The group I know wouldn't.
Maybe I
interest you.
just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Sorry, what's better than you thought they were? Peaches? Borderlands? Diablo? Carpal tunnel? Okay. I feel like you probably rolled your eyes when I said carpal tunnel. Oh, yeah, no. If they were mushrooms, I would have been like, just let death take me. Peaches I'm good with, though. They come from a can. They were put there by a man. I hope you got that reference. Otherwise I'm going to feel a lot older than I already do. Just got to turn something off here. Are you able to hear me okay, by the way? I just turned a fan off. But I still have the AC going. There we go. I do appreciate it. Okay, cool. No, I had a headset that was like, I want to say it was about $75, and that crapped out on me. But my cheap old like $15 set that I got from Walmart still working just fine. And yeah, I'd hope he'd have something other than peaches. Oh, look, he's got...
I know it's out there.
Tomato
somewhere.
something. Oh, tomato ketchup. As opposed to, like, plum ketchup, or I guess. Yeah, it was grape jam. I just thought it was weird that it was called tomato ketchup, because, like, what else is ketchup made out of, really? That just might be my ignorance speaking, though.
Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
Nope, he's got a sledgehammer. Yeah, I don't even remember what kind of headset this is.
But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's
Banana ketchup?
I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food.
And he dies right at the footsteps.
For a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
3-second search. All right, well.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Yeah. Sure that probably helped keep him sane, thinking he was looking outside. Banana ketchup. Now that I think about it, I think there was like... I think ketchup was originally made with like oyster or something like that. Yeah. 30 years in the basement.
Maybe she was afraid.
Or a bomb shelter. Anchovy, yes. There you go, anchovy ketchup. But yeah, 30 years in a bomb shelter, and then while he was looking forward to getting some new kinds of food, well, that didn't make sense. Oh no, I suppose it's 12 years later. So
But
this
if she
stuff
never
is
told
from...
me about an uncle under the house.
So the ketchup and stuff is from 12 years ago, at least. Anyway, imagine being so excited to like get out of this after 30 years, excited to try some new food, any kind of new food, and like your first steps out. Yeah, he didn't even get to try banana ketchup. He had peanut butter though. He could have peanut butter and jelly.
The same mistakes she made.
You know what? I feel like I have to Google this now myself, just to see what banana ketchup actually is, or if it's some messed up AI thing. Pork chunkies. That sounds appealing. Pea soup. He doesn't need bread. He had Sweetie Crisps. They are just so great. And rice. Lots and lots of rice.
Trying to bury something that's still alive.
I mean, you had to find ways to
Now that
entertain
there's only
yourself.
one of us left. Or maybe two. I thought
Locked
it was
up for
time I
30
heard the
years? Come
stories
on.
for myself. And found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Flog the dolphin. Jump, 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 jump. Oh, there's a light out there. Alright.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
No, I've been looking at getting one of those, like, VR treadmill things.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
It's an expensive purchase, but that's kind of what I'm putting the money for.
About your family.
The money that I'm getting from this channel towards. That said, it'll still be a while before that would happen.
And the history you're a part of.
I mean, I think it like more working out than for streaming, because it's like nobody's gonna see me on a VR treadmill. But like, I don't know. Basically, any VR game that I would have to walk around in, I could like walk around on a treadmill to explore.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Yeah, it's supposed. I mean, it should help it be more immersive and like reduce the feeling of nausea. Because that's part of the reason why people feel nauseous is that like
for what that's worth.
They feel like they should be moving, but like their inner ear or whatever is basically saying, nope, you're not actually moving. And so your head messes with whatever is telling you should be in motion. Where like one of those treadmills, you'd actually be in motion. You just wouldn't be physically going anywhere. Yeah, they're not cheap. That's why it's not something I would buy, like, willy-nilly. When you play first-person games, you get nauseous. So, like, this would really mess you up if you were playing this? I was planning on actually playing this while having my VR goggles on. I wouldn't be able to play it in 3D. I would still have to use my controller, look around and stuff. But I just felt it would have been like more immersive that way. I don't know. VR is really cool, just depending on the game. Like I think that the tech is pretty. Yeah, it has gotten a lot better than it used to be. I don't think it's quite where it should be. But it's all about demand. I mean, if people don't want to play in VR, then it's never going to happen. It's mostly first-person shooter type games. Yeah, there are some games, though, that are surprisingly fun that aren't in first-person, like...
In madness.
There's a game called Moss, and it also has a sequel. Where you're controlling this little mouse dude, basically making his way through... Okay, let me back up a second here. You're playing as a mouse, but the mouse is kind of like an adventurer of sorts. I mean, it's not like he has like a voice and speaks and everything, but he has like a little sword and shield and whatnot.
I think we've been surrounded
and he's essentially trying to get through like a garden, which is, for all intents and purposes, like a kingdom. Stuart Little, yes, something like that, except, you know, he doesn't talk. But you are basically like an omnipotent being above him, like helping him out while controlling him.
Building a cemetery before starting the house.
So like you'll use the controls to like take out enemies and stuff, but you can also use the controls to change the environment. And what's really cool is that even though it's designed from like being in one perspective, like if you physically in the real world physically stand up, like walk a few steps in, look around, you can see like the 3D environment that was created for the game.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but
so, and Moss is an adorable character too, so that helps.
3 of the gerbils are mine. 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Oh, at work we're having a picture contest, well, a pet contest. Like posting pictures of your pets. Sorry, the pet cemetery thing. Kind of, yeah, the gerbils. I found out, like, gerbils, hamsters, they basically go into like a state of hibernation. So like they're most likely
monument had been Edie's idea.
At some point in my life, they're like I walked in and the hamsters were in hibernation and thought they were dead, and like buried them.
The past never went away.
That just feels like some kind of horror to me. Thinking about that in hindsight, like
she could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Yeah, they will also just die, but
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand.
I still find it a bit okay. See, I wasn't sure about all rodents, but like it was I don't know. It just kind of messes with me a little bit. Like thinking that I might have accidentally like buried one of these things alive.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
So what are your plans after everybody's out?
But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Okay, so here's my question though: how do you know that those
Her
guinea
dad
pigs
had
were
been pretty
dead and
strict,
not
but it
just
wasn't enough to
hibernating?
save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Because from my understanding, they actually do like go stiff and everything else.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Okay. Yeah, eyes open thing kind of... I don't think they hibernate with their eyes open.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing,
I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Oh. So the person I'm playing as is 17, 22 weeks pregnant, and also has a family curse. So that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, all those things kind of help. America. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I would still climb around on the roof. I think that sounds like
he and
fun.
my mom had a lot in common.
But yeah, I mean, if you look up the name of this game, like the cover of it is like a silhouette of this house that I'm climbing up on. It's a big house. It's
Sam
like
spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
yeah, this house that I'm currently crawling around, it's like each person in the family had their own room, and they just kept building onto it, kind of like the Winchester Mansion. In fact, that actually might be why they continue building rooms onto this house in the game, like trying to confuse the spirits and whatever curse they thought there was on the family.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. I wouldn't be pregnant when I would be climbing up on roofs. I mean, I don't recommend it for a pregnant person, but... yeah.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm?
Oh.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
You don't know me. Oh, that. Okay, moment like that, I'm very glad I was not wearing my VR headset.
Weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
Did you want to get a picture of me or what?
Where are you?
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit.
About to just... Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You always had your head in a book?
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
You're right,
There
Dad.
we
It's
go.
starting to clear up.
Hey!
Picture perfect.
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
To tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
So, alright, so
Last time I
reading.
was with my brother Calvin.
You, did you ever read, Ready Player One?
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Okay. Never mind then. I know they came out with a sequel, but...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to, but yes, you have to.
Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Oh, see, that's what happens when I look away. Stuff happens. Nope.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
It's speaking of trauma, that's...
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
The one of how her dad got kicked off of kicked off of a cliff. Wait, was there something else in here I was supposed to check out? Okay, no.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost
Alright, so I don't think you ever answered, and if you don't want to, that's fine. But what do you plan on doing after the last one is out to college? Okay, I thought that said Chucky there for a second, and then there was like... I thought that was like a For some kind of little baby doll. Which one is this? Gregory. That sounds like a demon.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but...
Thank you, yes.
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
It's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello?
Oh, I already see how this is gonna end.
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
This is not going to end well.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Well, where'd the baby go? Why does nobody use your trampoline?
Sam.
Bye, Chucky. Yes. I'm gonna say that yeah, I knew you were gonna rub it in too. I'm gonna say that we are both right, because obviously a baby wouldn't be able to go down the drain. I feel it was a metaphor, you see, a metaphor for the baby, like what happened to the baby.
Yet.
They aren't gonna show that. Gus with the dollar signs on a skateboard. Oh my, oh, Gus, no. No, Gus. What is that, 69 to 82? I mean, I guess in 82. Yeah, I'm still gonna say no. Just so I don't give you that satisfaction. Alright. Let's see what Gus's life was like.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Oh. There we go. He definitely went down the drain.
Come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled
All
up
right,
the storm
I'll
inside
give
his
it to you
heart.
just because you know, we haven't talked in a long time. So I'll let you have it.
Talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her. We don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
Yeah.
Husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's another person that they haven't seen in many years, who I believe recently called you their bestie. I think they might miss you more. Okay, so what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to, like, crash the kite? Okay.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined
Hit
and as a sign
hit the
held up his
bride
middle
with it?
finger.
And I feel like that gesture was just for you. Where's the bride? I can't get down there.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Oh, this kid's gonna get struck by lightning. Gonna go all Benjamin Franklin. Oh, there we go. I mean, what do you expect from a
Rain
kid with a
came down in
mohawk?
buckets that
Come on
No
now.
one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power.
Okay,
All my
no,
father
not
said to this was, make the music louder.
not lightning. Probably a tornado. Looks like that's what he's building.
wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about it, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
See, this is the kind of thing, like, imagine that being your death portrait, really. You know, like the last image that anybody's ever going to see of you. Like, for all of eternity. I don't know. It's kind of ballsy, but at the same time, it's like very much a product of its time. Like the early '80s, yeah. Punk. Now it's got the pentagram. I would have approved at 13, yeah. I don't know. I never did anything crazy with my hair. So I really can't speak
My
on
mom
that.
left the loft after her brothers died.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
This was another cool thing. Like, I saw this once or twice in, like, a TV show. I always thought that would be cool to be able to, like, climb up to your bed from that. Oh, jeez, and a fire pole to get down. This kid had it all.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
It's giving extreme home makeover. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I would have liked it right there.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
Oh shoot, am I supposed to go down here then, or go upstairs? Oh wait, I missed something here.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Okay, another creepy picture. With the frog baby.
Lewis was
And
born a year later.
as one should, I jump out the window. Right? Like, I think every kid at some point would have loved to have had like a loft
When my
bed.
dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again.
Alright.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Yeah, no, me and my brothers had bunk beds too. They were very cheap bunk beds though. Like, if you shifted too much,
Things were good.
the support board from the bunk bed above you would fall through and like land on the person on the bottom bunk. So yeah, that happened to me a couple of times. Oh, it's a massive house. Like, basically imagine what like most kids would try to make a tree house look like. That's what this house looked like from the outside. Does this open? It does not open. All right. They had a freaking classroom in here and everything.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Yeah, see, there's still more, like, over there to explore. That's checkmate. Whoa,
After
wait a
Milton
s...
disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Okay. I saw most of these doors have had, like, a born and, a date of birth and a date of death. This one only had the one. Right away I was like, oh crap, am I gonna see Milton in that room? What's all around here? This is just gonna be a dead end, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is just a really weird game. Like, I've put it off for years, but like, if I would have known how short it was, I would have tried to play it sooner. Well, this should be interesting. Oh, I'm climbing up. I thought it would be like bringing something down. Alright. Prince Milton. Huzzah!
Milton Finch.
Are you still going to Renfests or no? Oh, I used to make these. Nothing this complicated, but it's going full on Inception. Okay.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
You're just gonna have to live vicariously through your bestie. I got tickets through work. They were having a contest.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
I got tickets to the Renfest.
Whatever Milton had found in the house
To go this
Mom
year.
didn't want it getting out.
So that I will now be doing. And Kilt Boy. That's a good nickname. Does he know that that's your nickname for him? Because if not, I'll tell him. I'll let him know.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
Yeah. So then, can I tell him? Okay. Okay. I mean, granted, I've never actually spoken to him. So that'll be an interesting first conversation, I think. But I still will. I have no problem doing that. Uh-oh. Okay. That's as high up as I'm going over that direction. It's, I mean, they still work together, right? So it's like I could go to like their place of work, just walk right up to him, and be like, "What's up, Kilt Boy?" How would you want me to say it? Like, what is the full introduction?
Lewis's room smelled very...
And I can tell you what his response is.
That part of him lived on. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Okay. Well, maybe I might run across them at Renfest. Of course, then, you know, Kilt Boy will make a lot more sense than if I said it to him at work.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
Okay, no, don't. Oh, this game is just getting more and more disturbing. Oh. Think it was a compliment? Okay. I can say it exactly like that if you want. His mind began to... Seriously. Is this where I have to...
Wander.
Okay. Alright, that makes me feel better. No. This is reminding me of like the classic Gauntlet now.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
I have a really bad feeling of how this is gonna go.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
See, I'm controlling both of these things, just so you know. I'm controlling this guy over here and the hand that's like cutting up the fish.
And things that have not names.
Like having to do that independently kind of messes with you. It's like whatever, patting your head and
He knew it was all in his head.
Patting your head and like rubbing your belly at the same time.
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Okay, now we're getting into like Diablo vibes.
Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
Well, now it's starting to expand.
It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Oh, it's a puppies.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick.
Okay, this is...
Then he made
I think we both know how this is going to end here. Like... Whoops.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band.
Yeah. The more his imagination takes over, the
humming.
bigger the screen gets. Until I'm sure at some point I'm not even going to be seeing the blade.
Every day his imagination grew stronger.
Yeah.
He no longer spoke at the cannery.
Let's go this way.
But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet,
Can I grab... I can't...
were all in his imagination.
I can't grab
So he could do
imaginary
whatever
Lewis.
he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Well, of course he won. It's
They begged him to
Lewistopia.
stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Yeah, this is not going to end well.
St. Louis.
I've been to St. Louis.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home
Minneapolis.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a...
Ooh. Which one should I go with? It's continuing to push me forward.
Handsome Queen.
Okay. Handsome Queen. Didn't even think to read that. Go with my heart.
The Queen was on her own quest for...
Radiant rainbows. We're just gonna keep going right.
Radiant
now.
rainbows.
Whatever is on the right-hand side, that's what we're going to keep on choosing. I found a radiant rainbow. And another radiant rainbow. And a third. And a fourth.
He followed the sound of her.
Silver harp. Man, electric guitar? I feel like I've made a bad choice now. Oh.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Well, see, look, I at least ended up...
Even then, his logic remained sound.
Oh, sitar.
He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it.
See, I can't even see where the blade is now.
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Okay, I'm going to pause that for a second. I saw that you wrote something, but it's not popping up in the feed for me now, so I'm just going to redo that. Okay, east of the sun and west of the moon is how a lot of Middle Eastern fairy tales start. Okay. Like, that specific phrase is how it starts?
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Oh, jeez, okay. Alright, so he got to keep his hand. At least so far.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Okay. See, that shows that you read a lot more than I do, because I had no idea of that.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Okay, so this seems like it's going to get a lot darker than I originally thought it would. Or is that Lewis? Yeah, no, it's a really good phrase.
I still thought I could save him.
Okay, yeah, no, this isn't the direction. Okay, so this is how it ends. This is... okay. Well... Yes, he's all going in.
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
See, I'm pushing backwards. I was trying to stop it. But that's not gonna happen.
The palace would be packed with his companions.
And I can't get off the conveyor belt at this point either. Bunch of lovely, shining people with no faces.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting me.
Yeah. This, I can step off to the side now, I can't... Look, you can walk back. You can walk back there. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this, Lewis. Alright. Away we go.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Dive in head first. Like that scene from Fargo. Yeah, basically.
Down his head.
Yeah, but
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
okay. Yeah, that was a lot darker than I thought it was going to
My
be.
brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that would have taken him out of it, though. Be like, hey, what's cooking good looking? And then, like, then he takes a step away. Oh, the dude had a hookah. Is this the highest point? Am I at the end here? Yeah, so am I not able to... I mean, there's still, like, more upstairs. Oh, wait. Looks like there was another door. There... No, that's not the direction. Why is he making me go that direction? I see an exit door. That's the door I want to go to. Alright. There we go, yes. No, why? Man. Okay, no, back up. Go in this direction. It's a Norwegian fairy tale.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing.
Well, maybe the phrase is really similar. Yeah.
She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
I was gonna say, maybe it's just a very similar phrase. Yeah.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Regardless, it's still a good phrase.
I wish we'd stayed.
And I think it's a lot better than Once Upon a Time. It's more poetic.
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe I should have come sooner.
I think it's nearing the end here. I mean, it's gotta be.
It had to end one way or another.
Yeah.
All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Interesting little origami, I think. Plaster of Paris? Whatever. I don't know. Whatever that thing is where they take the newspaper strips and use like a watered down glue paste. Edith. That looked like a werewolf's claw or something. Paper mache? Is it paper mache? I thought paper mache was more of like... No, you know what? You're right. You are absolutely right on that. Paper mache, that's what it would be called.
That whole last day.
I was thinking like the stuff they do on piñatas.
Say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass.
I suppose that is paper mache, isn't it?
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Okay, so I get the impression that just from that little discussion that they had before I was excused, the medication that my character's grandmother
The power had been shut off that morning. But
interacts
Edie
badly
always
with
had plenty of
with
tools.
alcohol.
When my mom said the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Old ass Edith. Yeah. I was gonna ask what that stood for, because I was like, it didn't sound familiar to me at all.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your story.
So, whole bunch of like books, paper, etc. Open flame. Open flame next to a bed. And I don't know, moonshine. Oh, hey, roast. Hunter's roast. So let's roast everything.
I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
I mean, obviously nothing bad happens because, like, the story is taking place, whatever, like 10 years after this fact.
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
But still.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, The tide went way, way out.
It was a dark and stormy night.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground.
Oh. So I'm playing as the grandma right now.
There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years.
Why do you wish there was a tsunami the night you were born?
No.
I feel like that's what's happened here.
Every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it.
Oh, can I see that? Okay. I should have thought of that before I got too far away. Yeah, that is the house. No. It's not like I was born near the ocean. Well, I mean, that's fair, but... Okay. Now, it didn't matter. Once the fog started to roll in, whatever direction I walked in, it's just going to get more and more foggy.
I got turned around.
Yeah, let's see if we can get some of those hot nurses.
For a while, I wondered.
If I don't know if you like which Silent Hill you played, but you know about the nurses. Not exactly something I want to encounter. The pyramid heads. I don't know. They seem like they would be less fun. My opinion, of course. You know, they have that.
I started seeing things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
I feel like I should be worried now. She said she was seeing things she forgot ever existed. I'm not seeing anything here. Oh, there we... Okay. Sure, as soon as I say that I'm not seeing anything, boom. I get 10-point buck. Alright, I'm just gonna... Yeah. I'm just gonna keep walking in a straight line.
When I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me.
Don't say that. There are games that can actually, like, listen to you. Like, there was an Alien game.
I came back to them.
There's an Alien game that, like, it could pick up on the sounds on your microphone, and the alien would actually hunt you down. That's just freaky.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up. She was already gone.
Told you, the alcohol and the drugs.
After that, we moved around a lot. We
There
both
we
tried
go.
to make the best of it. A few years went by.
Right?
My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this.
Don't tell her anything.
If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes.
I guess, yeah.
And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Am I supposed to be?
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you.
Wait, is this the child being born? Oh my god.
You're reading this now. Things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Okay. Yeah, see, and that's the house I just explored. That was Atticus, yes it was. It's goes on to be a great lawyer, though. So yeah, took a little under, I'll say like 2.5 hours to get through. The best. This kid is kind of a twerp, though. I know that there was a sequel that that was written like not that long ago, actually. I want to say it was like only like 10, 15 years ago. And when was To Kill a Mockingbird originally written? Like, was that in the 60s? I want to say it was like the late 60s. So, I mean, that was a good long while in between. Was his kid's name Dill? Like that was his nickname? Thanks, Johann. 1960. Did you just Google that, or did you already know? Okay. Alright. I just figured if you were a book nerd, I do remember having to read it back in high school. Or middle school, one of the two. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the movie. But I do remember having to read it. Wasn't the kid's name Dill, though? Yeah, the kid's name was Dill, right? Or a nickname? Scout. Who am I thinking of then? I know that there was a character in one of the books I ended up having to read. The kid's name was Dill. No, I want to say the kid, like, it was actually spelled just D-I-L. Last name was not Pickles. Yeah. A lot of playtesters. There was a character named Dill. Okay, was that in To Kill a Mockingbird? And again, are you Googling this, or are you just remembering this? The story is select Edith to play from the beginning. Did I actually see everybody? I didn't think I saw, like... Yeah, no, I don't think I saw Sven, but Sven wasn't... Odin... Yeah, I want to say that I didn't... Am I getting to... Yeah, I didn't see K's or Sven's. Unless it's just connected to, like, Edie and Sven are connected, and so there isn't an actual story for them. It's apparently based on Truman Capote. Okay. Yeah, no, I actually went to school with a guy. His last name was Doe. Like John Doe. And after reading To Kill a Mockingbird, he said he was going to name his first child, boy or girl, Dill. I don't know if he ever did have a kid, let alone what he would have named that child. But part of me kind of hopes he did. See, I think that's the parent in you. I think that's definitely the parent in you, because, like me, I kind of would have hoped so. But yeah. All right. Well, I am going to call it a night here. Jessica, thank you for stopping in. It's been good catching up and keeping the conversation going, so it wasn't just the gameplay. Yeah, I hope I run into Kilt Boy. I will definitely let him know that you say hi. Yeah. And don't be a stranger. You have other ways of getting a hold of me. So... but that said, it has been a week, and today alone I've been up already since, well, I was going to try and do the math on what kind of, the number of hours it's been, but I've been up since like 4:30, so it is way past my bedtime. I am going to let you go, but yeah, it was cool of you stopping in. I do appreciate it. And yeah, we gotta catch up some more sometime. Alright? that is the plan, miss. I do have a couple quick things I have to take care of yet, but probably in about another half hour or so. So, anyway, you have a good night, and I am going to log out of here. Anybody that might be watching this later, I hope it was fun. You got to see the entire game. You didn't even have to play it, so you have a fun little view through, I guess. But yeah, Jessica, definitely. Like I said, you know how to get a hold of me in other ways, so yeah, it'll be cool. Anyway, you have a good night, and to anybody else that is watching this, enjoy, and hi from the past. Yes, Jessica says hi from the past, like a ghost. You should be afraid now. She will haunt you. But yeah, you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you. Talk to somebody later. All right, bye.